Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Chris Lopez here. With my co-host, Jeremy Lambert. What's up, man? How are you?
Fantastic, man. Fantastic.
Yeah, so this is our third webinar that we've done so far with Your Castle, and our focus is to highlight a successful agent here at Your Castle, talk about their business, how they've grown their business, then where it's at, and what their future plans and goals are. So we're going to dissect a successful agent who is a top 5 agent at Your Castle in 2022 and go through where she's been and talk about where she's going to go with her business. Now, Jeremy, do me a favor, introduce our amazing guest.
We're very, very lucky to have my friend Chelsea Steen with us today. Chelsea is a friend, and she's a tremendous agent, and she is in the top 1% of all realtors in Colorado. So it's very impressive what you've done, how you've done it, and how fast you've done it. Because few people can come into an industry, become at the very, very top in a 6-year period. Yeah. Right. I've always been really impressed with you, and I'm so glad we get to spend some time with you.
Yeah, and so in the last couple of days, I was talking to my wife. She's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" I was like, "I'm doing a webinar with our brunch buddy from Your Castle." And she's like, "What?" I was like, "Remember?" She's like, "Oh, I remember her." Yeah. So yeah, at the Chatfield Award Ceremony 2 years ago, we were brunch buddies.
I'm sure it was intoxicating.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, but that's why we're buddies. It was a good time.
Yes, it was a great time.
Anyway, so we're going to kind of want to just dial back to where you've been. So you started 6 years ago. What did 6 years ago? Kind of tell us the...
Yeah, so 5 years ago, I got my license. Well, technically beginning of 2017. So yeah. And then the first 2 years, I was part-time. I was running another business and then sold that, went full-time into real estate.
So what'd you do before real estate? I always like to hear the previous career.
Yes. So I started a painting company when I was in college, worked on old houses in Cleveland, ran that business for 5 years there. Moved it here, ran it for 3 years, and then sold it. Okay.
And then why real estate?
Changing the color of someone's dining room just wasn't really the value I was looking to add. So there's something about helping other people achieve wealth and really getting into the educational side of things. So that was the main reason. And I love houses. I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, everyone loves houses.
Yeah. Really?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
I mean, I'm an agent. I don't necessarily love houses.
Really?
They're financial instruments to me.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. But, all right, so you got your license, and why did you want to come in to become an agent? Why not fix and flip? Why not interior design? Why not that? But why an agent?
From my past business, to be honest, I didn't really want to have employees again. So I wanted something that I could run myself, do at a really high level, that I would enjoy. So real estate was a logical decision. I still do remodels and those kinds of things, but just kind of on my own accord.
Just for like your own investing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So when you started out, like, what was your business plan? Always like, because, becoming a successful agent is not like, it's a very duplicatable thing for people, but it takes time, it takes hard work, it takes usually a couple of years. So obviously you're in the top 1% now, but rewind it. What was your plan from day one?
Succeed. I went full time at the beginning of 2020. I had just sold a successful business where I had a comfortable income, and I needed to sell that to put pressure on myself. So I literally doubted myself at the beginning of, am I actually going to be able to scale this and have income? I really didn't think so. And then also COVID hit a couple of months later. So it was wild. But the big thing for me was I was just going to go work as hard as I could at it. And if it didn't go well in a year, frankly, I was going to change careers.
Okay. What was your business plan? So you're going to get your license. Mm-hmm. How do you go out there and start generating business?
Yeah, the first thing I started doing was teaching classes every month. So I'd heard of people doing these home buyer seminars, whatever, but I hadn't really seen anybody be consistent at it while I was part-time. So I started doing these monthly classes, and that's how I got my first handful of people. And I still teach classes every single month to this day.
Okay. Oh, I got some stuff I want to unpack here with you.
Okay.
So you said one of my favorite C words, consistency.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is where my comment a few minutes ago, like, it's not hard to be successful in real estate. Consistency and time goes a long way. Yeah. My analogy is the idea of online marketing. It's like, there's a bazillion Facebook pages for first name, last name, so-and-so agent. Yeah. And they get 26 likes, their mom, their dad, their sisters, their brothers, a few friends. They post on there for 3 weeks and then dead.
Yeah.
So you were consistent. Sure. Where'd you teach your classes at?
When I first started at the brokerage, and I did
Were you at your castle, different brokerage?
I was at a different brokerage. Okay. So I did them in person until COVID hit, and then was forced to switch to online. And given my fear of public speaking, online was a little easier. So I just kept doing that, which is how I still do them.
So when you were teaching in-person classes before, how many people showed up and how'd you promote it?
Anywhere from 1 to 15. In terms of promote it, I really utilize Meetup. I think that's a great platform. Same thing with Eventbrite. It's something still that I just constantly can direct people to in the natural flow of my business. So if I met someone interested in buying, I didn't need to go for a hard sell and let's go have a buyer consultation. It was, yo, come get some education and a beer at this class that I'm teaching. So I kind of used it as a pipeline tool too to promote it. But I had plenty of times that I'd have 1 or 2 people show up. I'm looking at myself like, damn, do I really want to keep doing this? This sucks. But then just did it. Yeah.
And these were geared towards like kind of like first-time homebuyer classes?
Yeah, I did first-time homebuyer every month for like the first year. And then I started weaving in house hacking classes after I purchased my first property and got really passionate about that. So now I alternate.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then this is something like, I taught classes when I became a brand new agent. Like, I think they're like one of the best ways to go out there and like build some name and also get people in the door.
Yeah.
Why don't more people do this, Lambert? Like,
I mean,
I think I know the answer, but like it frustrates me.
It's funny to me that agents will come up with an idea for a class, or we'll call an agent and say, "Hey, would you come in and do a class on a CMA, or would you mind doing a class on this?" And I think where they're the most fearful is creating the fucking PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm like, get with marketing. They can build that stuff for you. Yep. Like you just need some bullet points, but it's so overwhelming to get outside their comfort zone. I'm a sales guy, right? I do sales. I don't know how to work a spreadsheet. I don't know how to work PowerPoint, but I have an assistant, right? And they can do those things. So I think it's just fear, man.
So I want to harp on this, or not harp, but spend some time on this because we got a lot of like newer agents and people who want to be where you're at in terms of like level of success, the top 1%. Unpack more of the class thing. Like if you go back and give your advice 4 or 5 years ago, what would you tell that brand new Chelsea?
Ooh, a lot. A lot. Go to your castle faster. That's number 1.
Love it.
Why do you say that? No, seriously.
Yeah.
Well, wait, I'm going to tell a story really fast with mine. We're in the process of getting to know each other and getting to know the brokerage. And once she joined, you did something that I'd never seen anyone do before. She sent out a newsletter to explain to her clients, "Hey, I've made a move to a new brokerage." And she outlined different things. You outlined different things like, "Hey, it gives me better access to data because of all the trends things we do and hot sheets and all those things. It gives me better access to managing brokers because we have multiple managing brokers to work with." Yep. And then you said, "It saves me money." And I was like, oh shit. No one ever talks about that, right? Because we provide a high value here for a realistic cost.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then you said in your newsletter, "Let me show you clients what I'm going to do with this money that I'm saving. I'm going to reinvest this in the business to bring you X, X, and X." And it was fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
It was really good.
And I did it. It was essentially a $10,000 savings between where I was before and here. And that is almost my exact budget that I spend on different client activities to my past clients.
It's brilliant. But the way you laid it out there, right? It was genuine, it was authentic, and it was real.
Yep.
It was really good.
So we'll come back to the classes a minute here. So what prompted the looking for the brokerage or how whole your cast? Like kind of tell that story. Like who, you don't have to say the name, but like what type of brokerage were? Like a discount brokerage, training one?
National franchise that promised a lot of training. Still have a lot of respect for them, but I was there part-time as an agent and I didn't need a lot of support because I wasn't really producing. I was running my other business. As I got closer to selling that, I was like, I'm going to need a lot more support. And the big thing for me was I have to have people I can call with questions. I'm a good problem solver, but I take the weight of what we do pretty seriously. And I don't want to put someone making their largest financial decision in a bad spot because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So I honestly wasn't going to interview with your castle at all. And my buddy AJ was like, "No, you must." So I was, fine. And then I walked out after meeting with Lambert and I was like, this is home. At that time there were 7 managing brokers, and that was probably one of the biggest selling points for me. And then the promises that you guys have made, you actually deliver on, which is the difference.
Well, check this out. This is what's scary in this industry right now. There's a brokerage down the street from me that's relatively the same size as us. They have about 800 agents, right? They have one managing broker. So let's just say 5% of the company decides to call up and need help that day. Just 5%. There's no fucking way that guy's making that amount of volume calls. So what happens is things you need help on today goes till tomorrow, to tomorrow, tomorrow. And there's some new agent out there right now that's getting screwed over because they can't get support. And end of the day, it's affecting the client.
100%.
You know,
that's really
could you
well said.
imagine trying to buy a home, losing it because you couldn't get answer to a question or help on a contract?
Yep.
You know,
I just got goosebumps. It's so real. It's everything. Like just having the runway to be able to do your job, to do the best for your clients. And that support has been everything here.
Great.
Yep.
All right, so going back to classes.
Yeah. Okay.
Because this is biz dev. This is what matters. This is also happens to be my passion. Like, I don't care how good of an agent you are. I don't care how good of a painter you are. I don't care how good of a whatever you are. If you can't get business, it doesn't matter. End of the day, right? We all have to like feed ourselves and feed our families. So going back to classes here, what would you tell younger Chelsea besides join your castle sooner?
There's a book I've read that was a game changer for me called The Compound Effect. And I just feel like it applies to real estate.
Who's the author? Do you meant The Compound?
I don't remember.
Okay.
It's a short read, but it's amazing. And honestly, it changed my life, not just in real estate, also my relationship, and so many other things. But it basically talks about how if you make these small efforts over time, they have a larger impact than large efforts at once. And that was everything. I was like, okay, I just need to focus on a couple of key activities and be consistent. And I want to see if this works. And that's exactly what did work. So that one was huge.
Okay. The compound effect. All right.
I think I would just reinforce, the only other thing I would do is reinforce a belief, which is just take care of people. Do the best that you possibly can for the people around you and add value always, and business will come.
I love that. And if you look, I think at least at your castle, at our core, that belief is widespread.
Yeah.
You know, that the feeling of abundance. Like I hear John Stegner over at New Era all the time say, they go, what do you look for in someone on your team? And he's like, being a good human.
Yeah.
You know, like somebody I want to hang out with.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't seem like that should be that hard, right?
Yeah. You wouldn't think.
Christian, thank you. The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy.
Yes.
I've read that book. I know Darren.
I did too. It's a good read.
I read a long time ago. Or I think, a long time. Yeah. Good book and good concept. Like, that's the powerful concept.
Yeah.
All right. So going back to the Compound Effect. So did you make your own PowerPoint slides? Did you use like a pre-templated one, use the brokerage, or what did you do?
Yeah. I have this crippling personality defect, which is like believing that I will only like something if I make it myself. I don't necessarily recommend that for other people. Save your time. As Jeremy mentioned, there's other people that can help you with that stuff. Yeah. But I did. I sat and I made my presentation, and I've fine-tuned it a bit here and there, but it's pretty basic. It's nothing fancy.
But that's usually what works, is like, I mean,
it's to the point.
Yeah. And I mean, like, there's presenting and there's promotion.
Yeah.
Promotion is ultimately more important. Like, I hate to say that, but like promoting, getting eyeballs or butts and seats, that's ultimately what matters. Again, it doesn't matter if you're a presenter or business owner. If you don't get people there, it doesn't work. All right. So you did that. Then how'd you go from teaching classes to now being a top 1% agent in Colorado?
So I got a couple of clients early through my sphere and through those classes. I took incredible care of those people. I didn't care if I made $1, frankly, on my first few deals. I was just like, I am going to make sure I take such good care of these people that they will scream my name from the mountaintops when this is all over with. And that's kind of what happened. My first couple of clients ended up referring me to my next set of clients, which then turned into my third set of clients. So I'm really proud to say that now 85% of my business is referral based. I don't buy leads. I don't do any of that stuff. And it has just come from taking really good care of people. And knowing when to ask for help when you don't know when to do something. So
tell me more about taking really good care of people. Like, peel that back, because that is such a broad stroke.
Yeah, for sure. I take this process probably a little bit too personally, honestly. Like, there are so many other agents that sell way more because they care less, but like, it feels like a responsibility to me to make sure that I'm putting people in the best financial position possible. So if it doesn't feel like it's going to be a good investment, I'm going to fucking say that. I'm not going to be like, sweet, you like the house? Like, let's go write an offer. Like, no, like, let's look at a couple of more because I don't really think this is going to have a long-term gain for you the way that you think. I'm brutal in negotiations. I'll be honest about that. I kind of love it. It's a little competitive. I dig that. So I try to get my people as much money as possible and just get them into a really great house, make it as stress-free as possible. So like, I do a lot of things that I don't think other agents do. Like I set up their inspection appointment for them and then let them know when it is, except like just little things that throughout I kind of own the process as much as I can.
You make it easy for them and you obviously have a very, very high bar of quality. Yeah. So 85% referrals, that seems like, I don't know industry standards, but that seems like way more than the average industry average. Jeremy, is there any type of like stats, you know, for like where, like, I'm totally curious because that just seems amazing to me.
I mean,
congrats, by the way.
You know, where you are in kind of the pyramid here of like, you know, production and real estate, you know, you're all the way up here, right? And to do what you're doing and give that level of service is admirable, but I don't have stats on it.
Okay. I was just curious. But she's got to be on the other end of the spectrum for referrals, right? Because that's like
think
nuts
about it.
To me.
There's like 20,000 agents in Denver right now that haven't made $1 in the last 12 months. Right. Like the success and failure is a wide gap in this business, you know, and it's interesting. I appreciate good service, whether it's in real estate, whether it's, you know, and I always really notice all of those things. I was at a cake shop over off Spear the other day where the second person in line says, this is our 13th year. We come in here every year to buy my daughter's birthday cake. So excited, telling me how great the shop was, just, you know, repeat referral, word of mouth. Right. And she kept saying, I love this place. You're going to love the food. She gets up to order and she goes, you know, a couple of weeks, I need this birthday cake. And they go, sorry, we can't make it for you this year. We're booked up. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. It's a 13-year lease. Was crying. Right.
Oh my gosh.
Wasn't good customer service.
Yeah.
Right. How would you treat somebody like that? I mean, I look at you, it's like what, 45 deals last year?
Yeah. Give or take.
I mean, that's 35, 40 people that are out there saying, you got to call my girl, Chelsea. Yeah. Right? That's admirable.
All right, so I want to shift into like a second part here of the, and this is what I think very timely right now with all the market changes. Is kind of looking at your current business. Yeah, we have a lot of realtors watching and attending on this to want to dissect. Hey, how is Chelsea running her business now? And let me take away a nugget or two. So I use like three main buckets up there to like when I view my business. Like I'm very much like I categorize things. Yeah. So I look at sales, which is, you know, hey, that is working with clients directly from like one-on-one interactions, getting people looking at properties, showing properties in a contract, and then to the closing table. Yeah. The second is attention. And that's my phrase for lead generation, because lead generation, I think, is a poor word for it, because you want to own the attention and ideally own the relationship. You don't get a lead and get a deal. You build a relationship and get a transaction and get more transactions, referrals. And then scaling, you know, how to scale your business from marketing, assistants, teams, transaction coordinators, all that stuff. So we'll start with sales here. What is your current client base like? Like, kind of what's your typical client avatar?
It's changed a lot in the last couple months. So I think for these...
Really? Just the last couple months it has?
Since the beginning of the year. So, and I don't think it's... I want to switch a little bit and talk more about last year and the year before, because I think that's probably a little bit more applicable and representative. Most of my business was first-time buyers up until about like 7 or 8 months ago. That was the bread and butter, almost everything that I was doing, lower purchase prices. So there were a lot of them, and it was pretty grueling markets to be representing first-time buyers.
Yeah. They love bidding wars, don't they?
It's their favorite. It's like, you know what I want to do today? So yeah, now it's a little bit more diverse. This year I've had a real shift. I'm about 50% sellers and buyers all of a sudden. Most of the people selling are because they have to, not necessarily because they want to. So estate sales have come in quite a bit, in the last little bit. And also divorces, unfortunately.
Okay. What about, I've been curious about this. You have a lot of first-time home buyers. Do you have any traded buyers right now?
Yeah, I've had a couple. Luckily, they've listened to my timing pretty well. So I have several listings coming to market that we're going to go ahead and sell while the market's good, negotiate 30 to 60 day post closings, and then we'll go turn around and buy. Yep. Hopefully things will slow down a little bit after Memorial Day. So luckily they take that advice. So not at the current moment, but we're about to hit market with a wave of them.
So how do you, so this is a very, very common question now. A lot of people are married to their 2.7% interest rate.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of your clients have those amazing interest rates.
Yeah.
Why the trade up, and how do you help the clients navigate that and also understand, hey, don't get married to the interest rate?
Yeah. Well, first things first, I'm going to talk to them about keeping the property. I don't care about getting a sale. I'd rather you keep that as a great rental.
Like as a rental property.
Yeah, especially because you have that great interest rate. We know you're going to cash flow it right now. So let's talk about how we can get your equity out so you can go buy, not feel time pressure, buy what you want and keep that as a rental. That's number one.
I mean, and that's amazing to hear, right? Because you're talking yourself out of a deal.
Yeah.
Happy
Right?
to.
Like that conversation,
Like-
you're losing money
Yeah.
with a smile on your face, right? But you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. That's fiduciary responsibility. That's
No,
our
that's
job.
called being a fucking pro.
Yeah. Well, but that really is what it is. And then if I can't convince them to be a landlord, which does happen, and that's totally fine, then we try to figure out, okay, how to make this all work.
Did the
Low
majority
stress.
end up keeping it, or I'm still curious?
50%. 50% because most of them I beat into their head when they went to buy about how they're going to keep that as a rental.
You're planting that seed?
Yeah, like keep this as a rental. Like let's, help you kind of grow your portfolio.
Yeah. All right. And then they're trading up. How are you handling, hey, they bought it 3% a year or two ago, and now they're buying it, 6 1/8 today. How are you bridging that?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is the people that need to move right now, it's likely because they have a growing family. They need the space. It's not, I mean, if you want to move right now, you're going to have a harder time getting over that hump. So it's the people that need to. And for me, like, all I'm going to say is it is what it is. I don't know what else to say. You either want to get the bigger house and that's how much it's going to cost you. And hopefully we can keep this thing and offset your payment with this rental income to help. Or you're going to sell it and you're going to have a higher interest rate. I mean, it's just, there's nothing special I'm doing. It just is the reality.
Okay. So what's your typical day look like? Like going into just like, day, week, because, part of the allure of being a real estate agent is you're your own boss. That's also sometimes like a trap as well, because you don't have someone, hey, you got to do this, or hey, it's not a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
But it comes down to consistency, as we've talked about, key habits. And honestly, you're a driven, and sound like a methodical person to me. What does your day-to-day day or week look like, and what are your key points throughout the week?
So Mondays, kind of the first part, are coaching and admin heavy. So I hired a full-time assistant a year ago. It was about a year too late, honestly, but hired her a year ago. And so she does a lot of activities that I was previously doing that newer agents should be doing. So getting the team together, the real estate team that I have and my admin so that they have a successful week. Then I turn to my own business.
It's like team meetings, one-on-one
One-on-one coaching meetings.
Okay.
And then I have a 2-hour meeting with my assistant to get her rocking for the week.
Okay.
Then the second half of my Mondays is generally focused in my business. We had a listing, we got to select an offer, whatever. I take Tuesdays off. So I go hard on Mondays so I can have Tuesdays off. Wednesday, the first half is admin. Afternoons are more in my business. Thursdays are more coaching focused, also in the business. Friday, I either get to show houses or go do something fun for myself, depending on how that's structured.
Depends on pipeline, right?
Yeah. Or am I listing heavy versus buying heavy at the time? Same thing on Saturdays, and then Sundays I also pretty much generally take off.
Okay. So what are like key metrics or key tasks when you look like every week? Like there's a bunch of shit we all have to do.
Yep.
But there's a few things that really matter.
Yep.
What are those few things that really matter to you, and how do you measure them?
So I teach 12 classes a year, so one a month. That's huge. I meet with 2 vendors every single week. That's the minimum. That's the standard. So lenders, contractors, whatever. When I say referral base, it's not just past clients. It's other people in the industry. Given my background, I really focus on my contractor relationships.
Yep.
And I feed them so much work that it just is mutually beneficial. So that is huge. I have 2 strategic hangouts a week. That might sound odd, but I basically find what are 2 relationships that it makes sense for me to spend time on this week. and how can I go give them individualized attention?
So you're talking about like a person or like an activity or spot?
A person.
A person. Can you give an example on that? Or like think of a guy. I'm just curious.
How many
like,
people do you have in your database?
Like 3,000. How many people do I really focus on marketing to? 300.
I mean, it's the numbers you're pulling are crazy based on that. I mean, if you look at, and that's a testament to you and the service you're doing, because if you look, Larry Kendall is like an icon in this business. He created Ninja Selling, and his formula was like $1,000 per person per year. You have an A-type relationship, right?
Yeah.
That was his definition of repeat referral. I would think that would probably go up a little bit just because the markets, let's just say 1,500. You're like doubling that.
Yeah.
Literally doubling that. You are so outperforming your database. It's really, really impressive. And it's a testament to you. It really is.
Something about my brain, I don't know, but I'm just very specific about how I spend my time, I guess. And so that's why I call it strategic hangouts. Like I'm just not,
I love it.
Yeah, I'm not going and just like fucking off with my friends all the time, although I could use more of that for sure, admittedly. But I'm spending time with people that it makes sense to spend time with.
Well, and some people who need it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we have 700 agents at Your Castle. I try to connect with as many as I can, as much as I can to build relationship business. But I just know there's certain people who just need it.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes I need it.
Yeah.
And it can be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
So that could just be like a coffee hangout, go for a walk, go for a hike.
Yeah.
whatever.
Golf 9 holes, go to a concert, dinner, any of the above.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What else? So 12 classes a month, 2 vendors a week. I'm sorry. Yeah. 12 classes a year, 2 vendors a week, 2 strategic hangouts. What else?
We send out a newsletter every month. Jeremy mentioned it earlier. It is, there's a lot.
Email or print?
Email.
Okay.
And there's a lot in there. On average, we're writing 5 to 7 blog posts to put in that, which is like interviewing a small business, finding an out-of-state referral agent that we're highlighting. So I'm constantly building my out-of-state network, putting DMAR stats in the Your Castle newsletter. I write a blog for every house that I sell. So there's stories on there, their picture. It's cute.
It's very impressive.
Thank you.
Nice. What's your website?
Yeah. Over the years,
the newsletter isn't on the website, but just go to chelseasteen.com and you can see all the.
Over the years, I've probably sent that out to like 20 people and said, check a look at this. This is good stuff. And if you're an agent that the wheels aren't turning after listening to this,
you're an
idiot.
Mine here.
Like you need, there's so
mine.
much in here, but you can do these things.
Yeah,
you can do classes, you can do lunches, you can do all these things, right? So
this is a good looking site.
Thank you. Kristen on my team just redesigned that. She's awesome.
Yeah, this looks great. So the calendar's there.
Those are the classes. Go up to the blog. It's to the right. One more.
There we go.
Bam. So if you scroll, those I haven't reviewed yet, but
I like it. Review after publishing, right?
Yeah.
Hey, shit gets done though.
Yeah. We haven't posted them anywhere yet. All right, give me some grace.
No, I'm the same way. Like people are like, well, I'm like, yeah, just post it. We'll worry about it later.
Yeah. Nick and Jen. Oh my
these
God,
are great.
I
Okay.
adore those guys.
Yeah. So if you guys I got on the screen here if you're not watching it. Photo at title company closing. The story, a bunch of photos. What a photo!
I really love the property details as well.
Yeah.
Like really diving into the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is cool. I love it. So,
all right.
You said one of your team members built this, right?
Built the website.
Built the website, okay.
Yeah, the blog is myself and my assistant.
Okay.
Is your assistant
a badass?
Local?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Is she local?
She is. Yeah, we met a little over a year ago. She was my physical therapy assistant, actually, after a knee surgery. And I said, hey.
Because you saw talent, right?
First time I met her, I went home and told my wife I found my person.
I'll tell you a story really, really quick. There's a lender that I'm friends with that he was hiring for kind of an office manager type position. And I said, I got the perfect candidate for you. She's amazing. You're going to love her. And he's like, yeah, tell me about it. Give me a resume. I go, she works at Hacienda. She's my server. And he's like, what? Yeah. I go, no, you don't get it. Like, she's so good.
Yeah.
Like, she knows my name. She knows how long I need to be there. She's fast. She's been with him 10 years or something.
Yeah.
And I had to sell her.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I mean, it's, the scale bucket there, that's how you scaled. So tell about that story right there, because, there's, I think, common milestones as entrepreneurs we all hit is, first one is hiring your first person and delegating.
Mm-hmm.
It is hard to do. At least for most people.
Yeah.
It's hard to do. Maybe not for a long while, but for us average human beings, it's hard to do, right?
Yeah.
And then there's like, do I get someone local or do I get a VA that's remote?
Yeah.
I feel like those are two very big things. Obviously, big price discrepancies, all this. So the first one, how'd you go about knowing that you needed help? And I said needing help.
I
How'd
did.
you need
No,
help?
I
You need help.
did need help.
You
yeah.
needed help. So like, how do you start that process? Because so many agents, 'cause I've been there, done that. A lot of people watching is there as well. Like, talk about that story.
Yeah. So my first year, I did about 7 million by myself, and then doing all these activities we're talking about.
7 year full time or part time?
Full time.
So 2020-ish?
First year full time, 2020,
Okay.
I did 7 million. Going into the next year, I had sold 7 million by the end of May. And I was like,
Pretty nice.
fuck. Like, honestly, it was just getting so overwhelming, and it was a crazy market too. So it's not like, oh, I'm just working with a buyer. I'm having to go write like 3-4 offers for these people and grind. Like it was a lot. So yeah, it was at that moment I knew I needed someone. It still took me a year to go find somebody. In terms of finding the right person, I just stumbled upon her. I was very lucky. I did interview people, I will say, once I realized. I interviewed probably 4 or 5 people and no one was the right fit. So I was patient, I guess, was the big thing.
How patient were you from when you put out the first job description or interview?
A year.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Took about a year, maybe a little more then. That's a little too long. Don't wait that long,
Yeah,
everybody.
I agree. That's too long. But like, I love the stories where it's like both what you're saying. Like you use the story about the hacienda's hostess, your physical therapy assistant. Makes me think of like this one, like those business books that stuck in my mind. Is I'm totally drawing a blank on the founder and CEO of Southwest Airlines, but he was like, I hire in personality.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I can teach someone how to give the safety talk.
Yeah.
I can teach someone out there and pour you a Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
I can't teach a personality how to smile though. Paraphrasing it.
Yeah.
And both your stories highlight that. And I've had the same kind of like journey where it's been like more like, oh, here's I don't want to say almost like random interaction, but different storyline, different part of life. But oh wow, you would be good over here as well. Like, what can we do?
Yeah.
And so I think part of that too is like it doesn't happen by chance. You're actually working on it, you're focused.
Mm-hmm.
So when someone's gonna hire their first assistant, what steps would you go tell them to do? You know,
So-
back 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and the other Chelsea juniors watching this.
So first things first, I needed to figure out like, what does the job look like?
Yes.
Right? What's the job description? How much am I going to pay? Part of that was by leaning on some great agents at your castle. So Amy Nakos and I had a conversation. John Cole and I had a coffee. So I relied on people already doing it that I respected to see what are they doing, what are they paying, whatever, to really understand what I was looking for. I didn't take all of their advice, but most of it.
I think that
That's the way it should be.
It's
Yeah.
great to work in a situation where you have those people to reach out to.
100%.
Like we just had our awards gala the other night, and I'm looking around at all of those people I've known for so long, and how many we've connected in other ways, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I need an assistant, or I need this or this or this, and just how the collaborative force it is, and what a positive it is.
Yeah.
So that's
It's
pretty
awesome.
cool because the people you named are very, very successful people.
So respectable. Some of the best people in the business, in my opinion.
So go out there, learn from your mentors, learn from successful peers.
Yep.
Learn what they're doing, pros and cons, all that stuff.
Get the job
Step 2.
description, get the salary, and then figure out how you're going to go find that person. I did actively market for that individual, got names, had interviews.
Like it's just on LinkedIn or...
I posted, I think I had you do some for me. So the brokerage, I was able to lean on for some of that. And I posted on Indeed as well.
Okay. And then you found through physical therapy.
Yeah. So it wasn't even those interviews. It was months later.
That's often how it comes. Like you put it out to the universe,
Yes.
whatever metaphor you want to use, and the universe gives you something else back.
Yes.
I can tell you is like a total sidebar here is like, if you need an assistant, you need a TC, you need your next team member, Lambert is a pretty amazing connector because he knows about 90% of Denver, it seems.
Yeah.
90% of like people in real estate in Denver, I should say.
Yeah. For sure.
Amazing connector. Anyone out there, if you ever have any type of those roles, I would do also what Chelsea said, but also, hey, Lambert, I sent you something. Give me 5 minutes. Who do you know? And Lambert's, you've always
Yep.
You've always performed, man. You've always performed.
I take a lot of pride in that. I mean, I really do. I take a lot of pride in having great relationships. I take a lot of pride in having great connections. And when I give a referral, I want it to mean something, right? Like if an agent's going to trust me enough to call me, I had somebody that one of the first hires I ever brought on here, Paulette Tupper, called me the other day and she said, it's one of my favorite clients. I love these people. I got to make sure they're taken care of, but I need them in this specific area. Who do you got?
Yeah.
I don't just pick somebody. Put a lot of time and effort into that, right? It's my name on the line too,
This is to buy like another property?
Yes.
Okay.
They were doing a 1.5 in Boulder, right? That's $1.5 million. That's a lot of cash on the line too.
So, yes.
And listen, my girlfriend's an agent and I didn't refer her to this deal, right? I called somebody who was a market expert in Boulder.
Yeah.
And knew that, right? And now the client's happy, Paulette's happy, and it's all going to be a win.
Yeah. One of my team members, I called you up and you said, here's the perfect person.
Yep.
And she is. Yeah. You're great at it.
All right. Setting goals for yourself. I have like a love-hate relationship. How do you set goals for yourself and what type of goals do you set?
I had a big shift personally right before I got into real estate. So I don't set really like volume goals anymore. I set personal life goals a little bit more.
How so? Like
number of countries I want to visit this year, number of books I want to read, number of days I want off, how many workouts do I want to have?
That's great. That's great. When I first sat down with Lon, I think I was working for Lon for about 6 months, and we'd meet every year and talk about goals. And he sent me an email, and that's what it said. Because I want to know, anything you want to share, right? And I put like personal goals, and it was so cool for somebody that's like a mentor to me.
Yeah,
that follows up, right? I got a letter from him the other day that said, like, I'm so proud of you. Like you've hit so many of these goals. You've developed into this, and I'm just like super touched by that. So I'm with you. Yeah, I have my standards. Like this is what I need to make financially to take care of my family, to live the life I have. And then I have my goals, but
So it sounds like you set like, so a lot of like, lifestyle goals, personal goals.
Yep.
But you're a lot more focused on, you got your values for your clients on, quality, service, just hard negotiation, but you hit those metrics. 12 classes a year, 2 vendors a week, 2 strategic hangouts a week, a newsletter once a month. Sounds like you're more, I'll say activity focused on that, right?
Yeah, I have standards for myself that are kind of regardless of what my sales end up being.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I like it. All right, so go moving on to the attention bucket here. So, this is where it's lead generation, it's relationships, it's retention, it's referrals, self-and client by next property, like a very catch-all thing because, in today's reality is everyone's overwhelmed with news and direct messages and just, oh my gosh, touch points. Yep. We have to cut through the noise. To have meaningful touch points and also really establish some value. So when they think of something, they think of, I think of Lambert. I think of Chelsea. So beyond this, do you have like a rhythm for like touch points a week or touch points a month for all your clients? You did 40 some transactions last year. Like, hey, every 2 weeks, I'm going to talk to some ex-clients as well. Or how do you do that?
Yeah. So all of my past clients get something from me 3 or 4 times a month.
Some type of touch point.
Yes.
Okay.
I am not someone who has ever picked up the phone and called people. As I've mentioned, public speaking and all of that freaks me out. So I'm not like great at picking up the phone.
You're not doing your Ford calls every day.
I don't know that I've ever done a Ford call. I got to be honest. I don't necessarily recommend that for others, but that's just my personal fear.
So as a side note here, but let's talk about this because thank you for admitting that because it's always awkward and even your biology, it's like, hey, so it's not fun to talk about. Like I have the same feeling, but this is really important for people to understand is like there's numerous ways to go out there and deliver value and win and do all this.
Yep.
And while it's a very common practice to go out there and do, 10 Ford calls a week or whatever the metrics are, I'm with you. I don't do those because I find them awkward. I don't like them. So I find a different way to do it.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important to say, hey, here's the intention of this. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
But still find something else that works for you that still has a touch point for clients.
Yep. So for me, the Ford calls would feel disingenuous. That's just like not my personality. I like quality time. I like to spend time with people. So a couple of different ones that I do. So we do Boomerang. So we send that postcard out every month to past client.
Such a good
CRM?
return. No. It's a mailer. So they'll Boomerang will partner with different vendors, different restaurants, like Home Show, and they do it regionally. And so they'll say, okay, you live in Aurora. Here's rodeo things. You live here. Here's this, and it's a postcard that goes out. It's very cost cost effective.
Yep.
It's very easy. So especially if you're a newer agent, you just want to drop $100 a month, it is well worth it.
So you do a boomerang once a month?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and this is to your clients?
Past clients.
Past clients, okay.
Yep.
And this is just is it general and kind of based on different?
It's based on where they're
geography
at. So like a certain area that month, a pizza shop nearby might do a BOGO. Cool.
Okay.
Another one might do like Alamo Draft House, free popcorn.
So you're hiring them and they take care of
all of it,
the vendors and geographic.
You just
specifics.
Literally upload your contact sheet.
Just give them a CSV file
and give them a credit card,
and
you're
that's
good
it.
to go.
And then they do it.
I love those services.
It's very inexpensive for those services.
It's inexpensive, but like people love it. And to me, it's value because I know like they're good deals at good places and people do use them. So it's not just garbage.
Yeah, it'd be like Keystone ski lift tickets.
And it's like, well,
all kinds of cool shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so boomerang. What else?
Boomerang is one. A huge one is I do a quarterly client event. Every single quarter, all of my past clients get invited, and it's not just like a lot of the. Shouldn't be so.
Well, give me the last 4 you did.
I don't want to be so judgy. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, you can be judgy.
Be judgy.
All right.
Talk about all the shitty events people are doing.
The last one I did was super lazy because we had our honeymoon, whatever. But we rented out a movie theater and showed a movie. That one was lame. The one before that, we did a Halloween costume contest mixology class. That was a blast. People were wasted.
Why aren't we getting invited to this shit?
Because you're not a past client. And if you want to get invited, why don't you let me sell your house,
You'll have to ask my ex-wife about that one.
So nonetheless, only past clients. I keep it tight knit, and then a couple good vendors. Before that, I rented out Hamburger Mary's. We did a drag bingo event.
This is cool. This is great.
And honestly, like a lot of my past clients are LGBTQ, right?
Yeah.
Same as me. So I try to do things that are
But this is
inclusive.
where you mix like your personality, what you enjoy, do all that. I think that's the key is like you do what you enjoy, you do what you like, you do what your clients, your audience does. It's like it doesn't matter what Lammer does or I do or Katie or Jewel does. It matters, hey, cool, what's right for Chelsea and Chelsea's clients.
Yeah.
And you speak to them like you build your tribe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tribe has been built.
Yes. I love it. All right. So quarterly client events, boomerang, monthly email newsletter, no 4 calls, 2 strategic.
That's the other
week.
thing. I try to spend time with my past clients, like at least once a year with every past client. Let's go do something.
Even the ones you don't like?
Well, those guys just kind of fall off, don't even get invited to the
Okay,
events. But yeah,
there we
there's only
go.
been like 2, okay? So
That's pretty good.
But here's the point. There's always some.
yes.
And it's okay to fire clients.
Yeah.
It's empowering.
They still get my boomerang.
It is
but they don't
very, very empowering to have that type of control over your business where you can decide, you know what, this isn't worth it for me mentally. This isn't worth it for me financially.
Yeah.
Even if you leave a couple bucks on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes those are the best moves. All right. Any other like major touch points? I think
Plus your
those
newsletter.
are solid ones.
Yeah, the
weekly
newsletter. I mean, yeah, it's all those.
Okay. All right. Talk about scale here because obviously you have scaled some. And before I forget this and talk about your assistant and talk more about that, what CRM do you use?
I don't.
Really?
We just recently got Follow Up Boss. Got
What
it.
were you doing before? Sorry, what were you doing before then?
Nothing.
No, not even a spreadsheet?
No, don't make me embarrassed here. There
No,
was
it's
nothing.
okay.
No, I know.
You
no,
know,
I'm
like,
just-
I mean, it just was what it was. It was a lot of manual stuff. I mean, all of my past clients were always in MailChimp, which is where I send my newsletter out. So they were there. But like, no, I've had these contacts. I guess I had a spreadsheet with people, especially from my construction business, but I wasn't literally not doing anything with it.
Wow. I gotta say, like, I mean,
To
for
do
the
what you
scoreboards you have with no type of CRM, that is really,
not just
really,
that,
really impressive.
to be consistently doing
Yeah.
events, consistently doing this without if you decide to incorporate that, if you start using Follow Up
We
Boss,
are now.
holy shit.
I know.
You're gonna blow up.
That's why I needed a team.
Yeah. And an assistant, right? Like,
So when did your subscription start to Follow Up Boss? This is pretty recent.
No, we've had it, right?
Like,
Like,
when did you start using it?
I
That's what
still
matters.
haven't
Okay.
started using it. We're working on it, but I literally this morning, all of the team as well, right? Is, hey, we're all doing this by end of May. So that's the target and we'll see how it goes. I'm so embarrassed.
Why are you embarrassed?
Hey, here's
It's
the
just
thing.
so ridiculous.
Well, here's the other thing. I'm gonna cut you off
Yeah.
here because I see a lot of people, entrepreneurs, agents, like, oh, well, before I go out there and talk to a client, my website,
Yeah.
my CRM,
Yeah,
no, don't
my
do that shit.
email,
Don't do that
all
shit.
of this. Oh, I'm gonna spend a year on the perfect plan.
Yeah.
You spend a year focusing on perfect value.
Just people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still getting it done. I mean, one of my favorite humans in the world, this guy Charles Roberts, was doing 50 deals a year consistently on a spreadsheet. I mean, crazy, like absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So gonna do follow-up, boss. So since there's totally random here, you guys should get together and like have a wine party while you put in contacts in the CRMs. Like it's brutal. I used to do that for CRMs and cold calling classes. It'd be like, we're either going to drink a bunch of coffee or get drunk, depending what time of day.
Here's my thing. My brain, just as soon as I've had alcohol, like we're just having a good time. We're not working anymore. So I gotta.
Oh, okay. I operate different then.
Yeah, we'll do hot tea.
Yeah, but you know what? You know who?
You do caffeine. You do.
Yeah.
You know who does most of my data entry in my CRM? A team in the Philippines.
Yeah.
I voice record notes. I send it over. I send an email. I don't have time for that shit.
Yeah.
But it gets done. And that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Because any given moment, I can go in and log how many activities I have, what stages they're in. And that stuff's important.
Yep.
All right. So you're going to implement follow-up boss by the end of May. And then we know the story of your assistant.
Yes.
Now let's talk about other aspects of your team.
Okay.
Because I know you have, I think you said 4 team members now?
5 with my father.
5. Okay, so just tell the when did the team concept come into play and how that start scaling?
I never wanted a team. As I mentioned earlier, one of the main reasons I got into real estate was to not have employees. My great insurance broker, Brandon, at the time, I sold him a townhome. We're sitting at the closing table and I'm like, I need help. Do you know anybody? He's like, I've got the perfect person. Go meet with them before you hire anybody. So I went and met with that individual. They weren't an assistant. They were going to be a producing agent. So I was like, all right. And we got along really well. All right, I'll bring you on. So I worked with her for about a year and a half and priorities started shifting and it just kind of wasn't really working out for me anymore. So I called up Lambert and I said, hey, do you have anybody else that I can bring on? Here's kind of what I'm looking for. He goes, oh, I've got the perfect person.
What were you looking for?
Someone that had done like 5 to 10 deals. I didn't want to start from the basics again.
Yep.
You've got enough. You're hungry. You're mature. That was a big one. The young and out of focus. I was kind of over that. So yeah, someone ready to grind, someone that wasn't entitled, like, let's go get after it. That's what I wanted. And he gave me just that.
It worked out really well, right?
Yeah.
It's very interesting. As a brokerage, we decided about a couple of years ago that we were going to be the most team-friendly brokerage in the state. And the reason is we coach from the sidelines, right? Like we can run classes, we can do instructions, we can sit there, but we can't be in the field to support 800 agents. We just can't.
Yeah.
No, it's impossible.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's made it such a win for us is we can review the contracts. We can do the lower dollar per hour stuff, but when the game starts, you're out there. You're the quarterback, right?
Well, not only that is you guys take care of like the massive overhead stuff that like an agent or a team of 4 people or 7 people.
Absolutely.
Like,
you need marketing support?
can't.
Call them. You need tech support? Call them.
I can't afford 7 managing brokers.
No.
You're going on a 1.2 listing presentation. My first one, I want you with me.
Yep. 100%.
Right? And that's where you're in the trenches. That's where you're going to learn.
Yep.
It's
All
cool.
right. So now you have 4 team members. When did you start using a TC or do you use a TC?
So my first year when I did 7 million, I did everything myself, maybe had a couple that were TC'd. At the end of the 17 million, I TC'd everything.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that year about killed me. I'm like, I need an assistant. I need a TC. I just need help for the love of God. So then I started using a TC until I got my assistant up and going and I trained her how to do everything.
Oh, she's also your TC as well?
She does all the TC work for the whole team.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So assistant / TC, 4 team members. What else does your business and team look like?
I mean, I think that's kind of the big points. I like to travel a lot, so I think that's kind of the big thing we're focused on. I have some big travel coming up that the team's aware of in 2024, so we're just trying to make sure everybody has everything they need and we're at a really good place.
Well, that's tough too, because if you pride yourself on this service, right? White glove, top notch, you've really got to make sure that your team has that same mentality, right?
Yep. That's why we had to make cuts recently. Like, it's very much so, let's get the right people on the bus and make sure that my clients are taken care of, because it's not a game to me.
All right. So looking forward now, scale up your business in numerous ways. Congrats, by the way.
Thank you.
Sounds like 2024, you're going to have a little bit more, just have a little more vacation there, a little more fun time, which is, hey, part of the success you've had, but it's also, hey, building up an infrastructure. So while you're off, two things can happen. Your clients still get the same A++ service.
Yep.
And also, you're not just on your phone stressed out the entire time while you're in France, wherever you are, just like, oh my God, what's happening here? Or like answering text message for an inspection deadline or something.
Yep.
So looking forward with that next, 18 months. How do you execute?
9 months.
9 months. Okay.
It's terrifying. Yeah. How do I execute? Yeah. Oh God.
That was fucking funny.
But I love this because this is true.
real
This is
life.
reality.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. Like, oh, God.
Like,
Um,
I can totally relate with you, Chelsea.
Yeah.
I'm laughing with you,
Yeah,
not
it's like-
at you. I'll be very clear
Either
on
way
that.
is fine. Either way is fine.
Either way is fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the huge thing for me is competency. That's the biggest thing. Making sure that everybody on my team is great at what they do. They are great fiduciaries to people. They are highly ethical. That is what's most important to me, or I won't be referring people to them. That's the reality. And that conversation's been had.
So you said trustworthiness, fiduciariness. So
Super competent.
super competent. So trustworthiness, fiduciariness, you don't teach that.
Correct.
That's the value. Competence, you can teach some of that based on like, hey, follow this, check this box, do this,
Yep.
do all this. So do you focus more time on teaching certain skills or looking for the right qualities?
Well, I didn't mean to have a team. The people have just come to me, except the one that I called Lambert about. So it's a little less about that. Right now, it's more about let's teach the competency and get everybody up to speed.
Because you recruit the right people with those traits.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I ran into one of your teammates this morning right here in the office.
Who?
Ash Ward.
Oh, hell
and
yeah.
she is fired up, right?
Yeah,
But
she's
something I
pumped.
thought was really interesting is I'd asked her a couple weeks ago, we were talking, like, what are your goals? And she told me your goals are great, right? And I was like, oh, I really like Ash. This morning, it was interesting. She goes, my goal has changed. She's now, I'm going to get my goal is 9 deals next quarter.
Correct.
Right. I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go. Right.
Yeah.
Like,
She's not
and her
playing around.
confidence was there.
Yeah.
And a lot of this because, she's got that influence.
Yeah.
She's got you. And I don't know. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's fun. It is fun.
All right. My last main question for you is how do you balance being a top producer while also running a team? Because usually it's very hard to do both.
Mhm.
And typically one suffers.
Yep. Yeah, so far, not well, I'll be honest. There's definitely some growing pains I'm trying to work on. Part of it was just figuring out, okay, what do the agents actually need from me? What does that look like from a time perspective? When does that make the most sense in my schedule to not inhibit my business?
Yeah.
So we've moved coaching calls and stuff around, and we're going to move them around again. So it's been figuring that part out. Early morning working with the team is best so that I'm not pulled away.
What does your team need?
They need support. They need guidance and direction, and they need accountability. And then when we can, we're filling in like every week right now, we're doing some sort of training moving forward on here's how you accurately run comps. Here's how you show a property and notice major defects so that your client doesn't ever spend money on an inspection in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Different things like that.
Okay. That's really cool.
And you'll take the same consistent approach you have for years in your business. You'll do it with this. You'll find the right balance and you'll crush it.
We
That's
hope.
what you do, right?
Chelsea, this has been a jam-packed 57 minutes where we're at here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys.
I got a few notes here. You have given away some really good nuggets. So thank you so much.
Mhm.
And also love, hey, here's what I want. Here's where I'm focused on. Here's this, like just being very real, which is great. This is the struggles that all agents, go through at their different phases. And when you go from new agent to a rising star to top producer, you're all dealing with the same shit.
Yeah.
It just kind of takes some different forms and starts getting to be, bigger numbers along the line. So thank you so much,
Yeah.
Chelsea. Any
Thanks.
final words of wisdom or things you want to throw out there?
Not really. Just be a good person. Do right by people. It'll come
I
back
love
around.
it. Cool. Chelsea, thank you.
Thank you.
Lambert, thank you.
Good times,
Yeah.
man. Good times.
Thank you guys so much. This was a great day. We'll see you next month. Bye, everyone.